Wow, that was exciting. This goes to show, even if you're used to wandering about, you can still get entertainingly injured. So, just in case I messed up the sound. So yeah, let's start again. Okay, so it's the 15th of May, 2020, it's a Friday, still on furlough due to the COVID-19 epidemic, or pandemic, that's sweeping the world, being massively mismanaged in the UK and the United States, and probably other parts of the world, but everybody else seems to... So yeah, out from a walk, went out for about 20 minutes so far, had a few mishaps, looks like everything's up and running now. So it's Friday the 15th of May, we're I'm walking back from my furthest point, the furthest most sensible point anyway. So yeah. So yesterday I spent some time sorting out an IP camera for my house, which was a massive hassle, which, as you all know, can take up an entire day. But I did engineer a new power supply and get it up and running. And it was all because I thought it'd be a handy thing to have. You know, just generally, I think an IP camera is a pretty interesting thing to sort out. I wonder if this camera's got Wi-Fi. I wonder if it would be possible to connect the Wi-Fi of the camera to Linux in some way. So yeah, we'll have to test that out. See if we can get a couple of mobile cameras up and running. So that should be interesting. See if we can get a Wi-Fi camera app up and running for both of these cameras. For the one that I use, the Firefly, I'd have to directly connect to that one and use a window type dealio to do the other one. Yeah, so interesting that you can possibly build an entire networking system, you know, of Wi-Fi and IP cameras. Yeah, so that's a new complication I've added for myself, so that's quite amusing. So yeah, but it's amazing what you can just do, you know, what one person can actually achieve. I mean, Stepjohn was asking me about what are the core Ranger skills, and I guess, you know, I think Rangers wander about and find interesting things to do. I think that's part of why we know each other. But definitely, you know, some degree of first aid. I think that'd be a first thing to learn if you didn't know anything. You know, learn first aid, learn CPR. You know, the thing where you stat the highest statistics of you being able to save a life is if you know the Heimlich manoeuvre in CPR. You're going to save a lot of lives, you know, as a group of people. It's unlikely that you individually will save a life, but the odds are pretty good. But the more people that know CPR, the more lives will get saved. So yeah, there's that. You're in a position as a human being on planet Earth right now to safeguard other people's lives, although a lot of people can't see it. You know, even if your knowledge of first aid only helps you out in a pinch, with a burn or a cut or a scrape, or like I got today, a twisted ankle coming over that style. So yeah, there's a lot of things that you could learn how to do, and being curious is the first bit. So yeah, you know, the studio's getting closer to being up and running. We're getting closer to, well, I'm getting closer to putting out the first culture podcast. I just need to gel it together in my head so I can present. And Zoo Echoes chimed in this morning with you know, don't change who you are in order to do the podcast. It's like, oh, okay, fair enough. That's two replies. I'll go with that until I die or you find someone better. So yeah, let's get this thing up and running. You know, so I expect the culture YouTube channel to be up and doing its thing. I don't know whether there should be a culture Twitter feed. You know, as far as the extraneous information, you know, we want that million people. Want those million people or more. Or many hundreds of thousands of people, so we can get some stuff up and running and really get something going. Because I think this is a bit of a winner of an idea. So yeah. It's all very complicated. A lot of stuff to work out, a lot of info to put out. So yeah, it's an interesting thing. And I got time. So yeah, I want to get those things done. I want to get the first culture cast out, want a format for that. I don't know whether you want halftime music, that usually complicates things. We've got the time limit pegged out. I got an idea. So yeah, I just don't know what to do for visuals. You know, I know that it's going to be mostly the sort of thing people are listening to and from on their, you know, on their way to and from work. And I think I can commit to doing at least one episode a week, but ideally I'd like to do more than that, especially during the pandemic. You know, I have the time, and if it's all set up, and I know what the format is, I can just rock and roll with it. Get it out to you as soon as possible. So yeah. Let's see what we can do with that. So today I'm still waiting for loads of postal stuff, which is why I was hooking up the IP camera yesterday. Although I could have done it a bit more easily, but the IP camera still allows me to maintain an extra network connection. I wonder whether Bluetooth would be an option. I'm fairly sure you can't receive a video image via Bluetooth. Not enough bandwidth. Ooh. Yeah, so apologies if I've repeated myself, but I took a tumble. When I rechecked, I wasn't sure that the sound was up and running. So there may or not be more footage. May or may not be more footage. This is just sort of keeping you guys in the loop. And hopefully I'll produce some media for you, you know, for you to help spread the word about. You know, let's bail. The situation we find ourselves in is untenable. You know, and it's weird in a very real way. You know, my motivational concept of sort of putting this together is so that there are humans that are, you know, worthy of going out there into outer space or exploring, you know, further horizons and stuff. In case aliens or AI's shown up, and you want people that were at least trained to think outside the box along with you. So that's my frame of reference. You know, it's not that I actually believe we're all going to space. Way, lads. You know, I just believe that there should be at least a group of people that you could point to and go, yeah, we want those people exploring other planets. Or at least to build up a tradition of people, you know, maybe 10 generations from now. But if there was such a thing as the culture, you know, and it existed and it was an option, And imagine all those people that, you know, not necessarily like everybody that watches this, but those people that feel that it could be better, at least have a place to start. You know, that's, you know, the whole point of, you know, saying that it's on par with a religion, really. You know, it'd be something to believe in, but you don't have you don't have a great deal of proof about, and just making it so that there's a bunch of people that, you know, for instance, an AI could talk to, or you know, somebody who's genetically superior to us just gets born into the world. You'd want somewhere for those people to go, rather than government institutions. And also I think governments are starting to fail, you know. I think education's failing. I think, you know, our ability to learn new stuff, or the government's encouragement of that. And I did read the output of one study that said poverty reduces most people's, you know, functional IQ by about 40 points. So imagine if you didn't have poverty in the world, how many more smart people would be kicking around inventing stuff or coming up with good ideas. So yeah. And you know, normally movements or, you know, ideologies come about through art and music, and that seems to be a permissible route for change, because it doesn't really change anything. I was born in the era of the punks. I don't see anarchy all around me. You know, the thing about art and culture is it gets purchased by huge corporations and governments and defanged. So we need a physical space. You know, we need to bail, but not in a so I can get a private jet type way. I don't think that'll be happening. My plan is to be a gardener or a janitor in the New World Order. You know, I really will step immediately aside once someone better than me is doing it. But not just anybody. You know, I don't like the way the world's going as far as bigotry goes. We're backsliding a bit. You know, wealthy people are influencing governments, governments are influencing grassroots political movements, except they're not grassroots. Extinction Rebellion, I believe, is more or less grassroots. You know, I believe the people that fought for gay rights in the 70s and 80s and 90s, and they're still fighting for them, those are grassroots movements, because they're pushing against the status quo. You know, right-wing movements are very rarely grassroots. They're there to impose the status quo even harder, you know, to push the government to be even more extreme, in line with what a corporation wants. Fascism is great for corporations. Ask BASF, ask 3M, ask all those companies, Hugo Boss, the Coca-Cola Corporation. They all profit like mad from right-wing ideologies, and they're quite prepared to throw money at it to make sure it does that. Socialism hurts them. That's why right-wing organisations are massively funded. This weekend in the UK, there's going to be a load of demonstrations about the lockdown, despite the fact the government's doing everything it can, well, everything it thinks it should do to save people's actual lives. These people are all kicking off and claiming that the pandemic's a hoax. Well, there's like 300,000 dead people all around the planet that would argue different if they could, but they can't because they're dead. You know, there's people stupid enough to believe that it's a result of the 5G infrastructure, like the faster internet infrastructure that's coming in. It's not the case either. How stupid have you got to be to think you can...